So unless you're living under a rock, you know there's a pretty important election coming up in the US, and like all presidential election, there's certain states that we call the swing states that end up being the most important for each candidate to win. And in the upcoming election, those are Nevada, Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Interestingly enough, in the last presidential election between Biden and Trump, Joe Biden carried all of these swing states. But fast forward 3 years under an absolutely terrible administration, and 5 of the 6 states have swung back into Trump's favor, with the final one teetering on doing the same thing. So check out this new polling data. By the way, this was put together by the New York Times and Sienna College, both of which aren't really too favorable with Donald Trump. So starting things off, let's take a look at Nevada. Trump is up 11 percentage points. It's saying plus 10 Republican there, but he is way ahead of Biden in Nevada right now. Going over to Georgia, he's up 6 percentage points. Into Arizona, Trump is up 5 percentage points. In Michigan, Trump is up 5 percentage points. In Pennsylvania, Trump is up 4 percentage points. And Wisconsin is the only state out of the 6 swing states that is still holding for Biden. But as you can see, it is the lowest percentage point of all of them for Biden. And I think in the upcoming months, this one too will begin to switch in Donald Trump's favor. Not only is this poll put out by the New York Times and Sienna College, both of which don't want to post anything favorable for Trump, we know that historically when polls do come out, they favor more the Democrat candidate, which in this case might mean that this is actually far worse than what the polls are showing. So why is this happening? Well, I think most of you watching this know. The Biden administration has been terrible for most Americans over the last 3 years. In particular, those Americans that they claim to want to help out the most, the Black and brown communities and the Hispanic communities, both of which are turning against Biden drastically. In a new ABC Ipsos poll, they have only 49% of Black Americans approving of Biden right now. And keep in mind, Black Americans voted for Biden at an 86% rate in 2020. That same poll is even worse for the Hispanic community, who are approving of Biden at a 33% rate. This is historically low for a Democrat candidate. And only 23% of Americans under this poll believe that the United States of America is heading the right direction under Joe Biden. So what does this ultimately mean? It means that Democrats are going to have to do a lot more work at the polls than they did in 2020, if you know what I'm talking about. A lot more work. I don't even think they're going to be able to come up with the margins with the type of work that they sometimes do at the polls. Maybe do, maybe not. I don't want to insinuate anything, but it's possibly being done in some of the videotapes that we've seen, but maybe those videotapes really aren't real or capturing the right thing. I don't think they're going to be able to make up for these margins, and if anything, these margins are only going to get worse in the upcoming year because Joe Biden and his administration is a disaster. It's a train wreck. Nearly everything that they have done has been terrible on trade agreements at the border for the Black and brown communities, for Hispanic communities, for the economy, for jobs. It's been a train wreck all across the world, including multiple conflicts that are going on. China, Russia, and other world leaders making us look foolish. I think people are tired with this. I do think that there's a lot of people out there that do not like Trump's personality. They don't like the way that he talks. He's a little bit crass. He tweets out things that they don't like. But at the end of the day, I think most Americans realize the truth. It was a lot better under Trump. A lot better under Trump. Your job was better. Your pay was better. The economy was better. The inflation wasn't as bad as it is now. Oil prices were lower. We were a lot more respected. We didn't have any conflicts or wars. We didn't have any issues with Russia or China. Nothing like we're seeing at the border in the United States of America right now. How many people can doubt that things under Trump were a lot better? Whether or not you actually like the guy, his personality, or his tweets, it was way better. And I think people are realizing, I'm kind of tired of an old man walking around, doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. Yeah, he might not tweet anything. He might not say things like Trump said, but boy, is he terrible. Maybe even corrupt. I think they might be doing this on purpose. They're definitely doing this on purpose to the United States of America. It's really hard to think that anyone could be so incompetent as to make the decisions that this current administration is making. And that is why we are seeing polls that are looking the way that they're looking right now. And these are the swing states. Never mind the states that traditionally vote Republican or some of the other states that vote primarily Democrat, that we might end up seeing a little bit of a switch on. We are going to keep you up to date on all of the election news. If you kind of like the way it's presented here, consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to have you come along with us. Of course, I'll catch you on the next one.